setting for the 67th World Cross Country Championships. This sacred turf is pounded annually for the renowned Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. But it's not unusual for famous racetracks to host these cross-country championships, which go back to 1903, when they were first held at Hamilton Park, Glasgow. Haydock Park, Baldoyle, Ayr, Leopardstown, Chepstow and Limerick are just a few of the past hosts. It means that we're talking about a flat, fast, grassy course, which suits most European teams, but it's very different from a typical British course, which is generally longer, hillier and muddier. However, it's England who are here defending the team title, won in Limerick last year in the rain, where John Tracy of Ireland won the individual title for the second year running and goes for his hat-trick today. But other great names in the race include Nick Rose of England, Nat Muir of Scotland, Alexander Antipov of the Soviet Union, Leon Schatz of Belgium, Craig Virgin of USA, Carlos Lopez of Portugal. And there is the racetrack, that famous racetrack, and this senior race is over 7.5 miles, which is 7/8 of a lap, plus 4 complete laps. Conditions are perfect for a fast race. There are 25 teams taking part, each with 9 runners, the first 6 of whom score. England again have a strong team, but their strongest opposition may well come from the Soviet Union, with Belgium and France out there too. When it was last held in France, in Vichy, in fact, in 1970, England won that team title, and Mike Tagg won the individual title. So we're hoping that that might prove to be a good omen. As the teams line up, let me just tell you the result of the earlier races today. In the junior competition, the team race was won by the Soviet Union, with USA in second, Spain in third, England finishing 5th, Ireland 12th, Scotland 16th. In the women's race, well, it was a marvellous victory, a third successive victory for Grete Waitz of Norway. She won, in fact, by 40 seconds. The team title went to the Soviet Union, with England in the silver medal position, exactly the same number of points as the United States of America, but their better placing in the 4th place gave them second in the team championship. Tony Simmons leading the Welsh pack there away on the left. The Welsh in their red, of course. England in white this year. The Rose of England on their chest. They're all wearing numbers 20. There's Bernie Ford, Hugh Jones, Steve Kenyon, Nick Lees, Nick Rose, Barry Smith, Graham Tuck, Nick Braun and Barry Knight. And there, Nick Rose is in the van. The all-whites of England, just about centre of picture. The Welsh, of course, in the red. The Scots are, of course, got their blue shirts on. Look out for Nat Muir. But the French in the red, white and blue. In the stripes, the broad bands, and the French running very well at the moment. Look out for the strong Soviet Union team. They're wearing the high numbers, 432s and 433s. Nick Rose, the Bristol boy, in the centre, and Locke on his right from the Netherlands. And Nick Lees is on his right for England. Nick Lees of England in the middle, wearing 5. There is Hashawi of Algeria. They too are wearing some whites. 7 is Mada of Algeria, so they've got... and Bernie Ford is up there leading this very strong English pack. 7, Mada of Algeria leads, and there's a second Algerian in there, Abedou of Algeria, wearing number 1. In about 3rd place, 302, is Klaus Locke, who we saw, the math teacher who we saw run so well in the European Indoor Championship. Second he was, indeed, in that 3,000 metres. Those are indeed the English. Bernie Ford, Barry Smith, Nick Lees are the 3 English vests up there in the first 10, taking that first barrier. Nick Rose is also up there, and Nat Muir went over in the first pack, but there are 3 Algerians in the first 12 or so runners. A massive crowd here at Longchamp, something like 20,000 people. The French, of course, with a great tradition in cross-country, and they're out on their Sunday afternoon to enjoy this race. The barrier. And it's proved a dangerous one. It affected the juniors and the English team particularly. John Tracy of Ireland. All Ireland's hopes on him, on the shoulder of Nick Rose as they go into this second lap. Nick Rose leading for England, John Tracy for Ireland, with Ortiz of Italy in third place, wearing 246. Tracy, the mudlark, running so well and so confidently. Still at Providence College, Rhode Island, his American coach over here to watch him, his brother in the same team, as they go in the trees about 700 meters down the course on this second lap.
Interesting, Ron, that John Tracy said before the race that he'd be a little bit upset, or worried rather, if athletes were with him at 2 miles, and he's certainly got some extreme pressure from Nick Rose here.
Nick Rose represented England last year in the international cross-country in the rain and only finished 22nd. There's Barry Smith going through, and Nick Lees going through, being chased by Antipov of the Soviet Union. So England still packing well. Nick Rose still 35 meters ahead of Schatz of Belgium and running absolutely magnificently. And we have to apologize to you. We understand that you've had a breakup in pictures. This massive crowd enjoying this spectacle. We're perched on the roof of the grandstand, as it were, some 60 feet up, and we've a bird's eye view, and it really looks great to see an England vest out there in front, Belgium, and we know that the English team are packing well. Their tradition's so great in this race. There's the gap. Leon Schatz of Belgium in second place. And we've got Ortmann wearing the cap for West Germany, the first of the Soviet runners. It looks like Antipov, and John Tracy on their inside, looking for his third successive title. So the big names are all up there, but look at the English vest as Nick Lees crosses that barrier, not so far behind. And Steve Kenyon was in sight there, and so too was Bernie Ford. And that's what we need, 6 English vests up there if they're going to get this title and defend it successfully, having won it in Limerick in the pouring rain last year. The gap now about 40 meters. Nick Rose in this home straight, at the end of this home straight, and that's another 350 meters. He'll have 2 laps to go. Just behind him, Leon Schatz. Then one of the Russians, John Tracy, unmistakably in the green of Ireland. The tall man in the hat, that's Ortmann of West Germany. And Watrice of France is in there. And it looks like Nick Lees, the next of the English runners. Though we're so high perched up, we're still trying to read those numbers. But the pack are closing the gap on Schatz, and Schatz looks around and knows it. It looks like another Belgian on the inside. They're the only team wearing all blue, so there's 2 Belgians up there. Now that looks like Nick Lees is across, and we've got another Englishman, so 3 in the first dozen runners. And there's the gap. We go away from Schatz, and Nick Rose, 45, 55, 60 meters. He's going away from them at the moment. Nick Rose having a quite magnificent run. Craig Virgin of the United States now making his challenge in second place, going away from Antipov. Said he felt good, guaranteed he'd finish in the first 3. Craig Virgin, this very strong American, the holder of the US record at 10,000 meters. A class runner breaking away from the rest of the field, and with 1.5 laps to go, going after Nick Rose. The first real threat, the first real challenge. No effect. Schatz is staying there, Antipov not coming. And it's Virgin that goes after Nick Rose.
So Nick Rose is about 1,000 meters ahead of the tail-enders who are moving underneath us now. And the England score, which he's at the helm of at the moment, 91, and that really is an incredible score in this class of running.
And maybe the gap is creeping out again. It's about 25 meters as they go underneath us and go into the last lap. The very light is fired into the air. Nick Rose away from Craig Virgin. And then Schatz has been overtaken by the West German. Then Antipov. John Robson goes round. Steve Jones underneath. Bernie Ford is the next white vest. And then Barry Smith, I can see. So we've got 3 English vests up there in the first 15 or so. Russia up there, another American coming through. Now Steve Kenyon, I can see, and he's running with Nick Lees. There's two more British, English vests packed together. One more Scot goes through underneath us. And there's Graham Tuck for England. So it looks as though we've got 5 or 6 up there. And now the ginger hair of Hugh Jones in his big international debut. So England still packing well, and Nick getting his head going from side to side. Great peaks and troughs in his career. Oh, and he stumbled badly there on that log. He must be getting tired. A race over 7.5 miles. This long, lush grass must be sapping their energy, just as it does for the horses. But he's still being urged on and egged on. Good English support out here. Nick Rose, now 28. Winner earlier, not only of the national title, but south of the Thames, and has been doing a lot of cross-country running in his preparation this year. And Shots is now up with Virgin. So that little pack making their charge, and Virgin, he may well have blown it. Still leading them, but he hasn't gone on his own. He's back with the pack. The man who's been out in front from the start now, being roared on, is Nick Rose of England. Virgin, Shots, Ortmann. That's the next little pack. USA, Belgium, West Germany. Then the next pack, we should see John Robson. Ortmann, remember, 3,000 metre runner. First versus Great Britain indoors at 3,000 metres this year. Got good finishing speed. But Craig Virgin still staying slightly ahead of Leon Shots, a former winner. Ortmann having a splendid run, I must say, for West Germany. But there's the gap, and there's Nick Rose. And he's stretching it again. And John Tracy's challenge from Ireland appears to have vanished.
Well, just to give you an indication of the score, England still under that magic 100 at 94, and they've been under the 100-point mark for the last 3 laps, and that really is magnificent. Great team packing. Belgium, well, they have about 160 at the moment, and France 182. USA are up there as well, with Virgin at the helm. And but really, Nick Rose, this is the man this race is all about.
And the picture, Stuart, clearly indicating that he's opened up another gap. It's spread now back to the 60 metres that he had for the first 3 laps. He really is going from strength to strength. He went through a bad patch, I'm sure. He really looked a little bit tired. But then when they tried to close the gap, he burned them off, as the true front runners occasionally can do. There's the gap. Look, they're receding at this moment on this last lap. And this could be one of the great victories. It's significant that when David Bedford last won it in 1971, he won it by a wide margin. He led the English team to victory, and he had also won the National that year by a wide margin, probably the widest ever, 40 seconds. And he was watched at that time by young Nick Rose, leading the English juniors to victory in the international race. So this could be a magnificent piece of history coming to life now. Half a mile to go. Nick Rose chasing David Bedford's great record of that one great cross-country season, and doing it in style. Half a mile to go, and the challenge is vanishing. Virgin trying to get away. Ortmann trying to get away. Nick Rose will have none of it. And the English that are here and that were in the stands have gone down to the side of the track to cheer him on. The Bristol boy. And what a record it will be. American cross-country champion, British cross-country champion, and if he holds on to this lead, international and world cross-country champion. Look at that, it's closed again, yet again. Virgin trying a burst. Nick Rose, head down. Ortmann leading the charge. The West German leading the charge now. Ortmann, who's got finishing speed. This really is pulsating. Ortmann of West Germany. Hans-Jürgen Ortmann, the 25-year-old, who beat us on indoor track and is now closing the gap. And there's 500 meters to go, and Nick Rose is getting tired. And Ortmann is coming on the charge. And that will be a tragedy for the man who's led so far. Can't remember West Germany ever winning this international race. Nick Rose, who's thrown down the gauntlet, cut out the pace, and Ortmann's closed on him, and it's a tremendous finishing pace, and Virgin's closing too. This is a magnificent finish, and Ortmann's got him in his sights. There's about 500 meters to go. Less than that, maybe 400 meters to go, and Ortmann's on his shoulder, and Nick's looking tired. Oh, what a tragedy. And Ortmann, if he goes and continues to go, that will be the break point, and Nick Rose has got to go with him. He must try and stay. Nick Rose, head rolling from side to side. The crowd absolutely lined with supporters here. Ortmann of West Germany with the finishing speed. Oh, and it's agony for Rose to watch this. They've got about 250 meters to go, and a gap is growing, and Virgin's closing on Nick Rose. What a tragedy for the Bristol boy. Ortmann going away, Virgin closing. Ortmann of West Germany, Nick Rose, Craig Virgin of America, the first three, and there's not much between them now. This could be the closest title. And Virgin is burning up and going past Nick Rose and closing on Ortmann with 100 meters to go. Ortmann has been overtaken on the inside. Craig Virgin of America goes into the lead and won't be overtaken. It's a unique American victory, I'm sure. Nick Rose in third, and it's America 1, West Germany 2. Tragedy for Nick Rose of England. Schatz is fourth, the rest away back. John Robson fifth. John Robson coming in for a remarkable victory ahead of Antipov. Robson of Scotland holding off Antipov. Robson going for the line, Antipov closing on him. Marvellous for John Robson. Antipov gets there. Then we're in Ford is 10. Bernie Ford is 10 for England. It's now about the team race. Barry Smith coming up to the line in about 13th, 14th. Barry Smith over the line. Stevie Kenyon up in about 18th. Nicky Lees in 19th. Then a Dutchman. Looking for English best now. One can only groan for Nick Rose. Another Russian, another American. We're looking for the white of England because it's all about the team event. But what a piece of courageous running from Nick Rose. He really did it from the word go. There's Graham Tuck up to the line. He's really aching and very slow at the line, but he's about 30th, 37th, and he's our last man in. And I can see the red hair there of Hugh Jones of Ranelagh. He's about 42nd. Another American is up. And not another Englishman in sight, but that still could be good news. One hesitates to say that we've won the team title, but it was very good packing indeed. Quite a few are back here now. There's Nick Braun coming up, but he's in the 60s or 70s. Oh, and famous names have been left way, way, way back. We think that England are ahead of the game as far as the team scores, but here's the American, and full credit to him. It was a blistering sprint finish. It was a marvellous run from the US 10,000-metre record holder. Second ranked in the world last year over 10,000 metres, but what a tragedy for Nick Rose, who came so close to that classic treble, an American title, our national title, and now third in the World Championships, having led for 7/8 of the way. Look at that for a sprint finish. Craig Virgin overtaken Hans